All of these are new rights. These did not exist. These are the rights that we call the socio-economic rights. Right to economic participation. Every person has the right to full and free participation, it's a Aiyaz provision, subsection 1, in the economic life of the nation, which includes the right to choose their own work, trade, occupation, profession, or other means of livelihood. And the state must take reasonable measures within its available resources. So, right to work and a just minimum wage. So everybody has the right to work and a just minimum wage. So this will again spur the Ministry of Labour, it will spur the employers to ensure that people have a just minimum wage once this constitution comes into force. So people will need to work towards that. Right to reasonable access to transportation. You know, a lot of these provisions have been included. Also, I mean, when government and the various divisional commissioners are also here, they will tell you that these are some of the key issues that the ordinary people raise with them. Access to transportation, access to sanitation, access to health, access to housing. And of course, majority of the people who made submissions to the Guy Commission talked about this. In fact, one of the commissioners, whilst the Guy Commission was around, she sort of lamented to me and said, you know, everybody just seems to be talking about these issues, then nobody's making a submission on the Constitution. And I said, well, that is what they are really concerned about. Because as you heard in the media also, a lot of the people who are going around and just talking simply about these issues, that's obviously very core to what they believe is important to them. So right to housing and sanitation, you have the right to adequate food and water. So this does not mean that tomorrow, once this comes into place, the government is going to buy all your groceries. What it means is that if there may be people who actually cannot have food, access to food, it's incumbent upon the government to give them the food. It's incumbent upon government to provide them with the water. So these are some of the provisions that have been put in: right to social security schemes, right to health. These are all the socio-economic provisions that have been put in and indeed been borrowed directly from the Guy draft. Freedom from arbitrary evictions. You can't simply just go and evict people. There needs to be a particular process that needs to be put in place. You need to get an order of the court of law. You can't just go and demolish anybody's home. So these are various protections that weren't there before, and we are putting those provisions in. Environmental rights, obviously the environment is very, very dear to us. These environmental rights are put in. Rights of children, this is completely new, borrowed again directly from the Guy draft. The rights of persons with disabilities, the example that I gave you about this applying to municipal councils, etc. A person with any disability has the right to reasonable access to all places, public transportation, information, use language, braille or other appropriate means of communication, and to reasonable access to necessary materials, substances, devices relating to a person's disability. You see in some countries, in fact some of these shows I've seen, I think it's on NBC TV, where some of the overseas programs are shown, and you have a person in the corner doing sign language. It's a requirement in some countries to have that. And a person may be able to say, I want all the news translated in sign language. The television companies would need to comply with that. So this is how you encourage and develop and make people participate fully, whether they're disabled, as full members of the community.